And about a week later, not even a week later, maybe like 3 days later, he calls me and he goes, hey, let me holler at Julio, you know what I mean? Hey, what's going on, man? He goes, how much you want for that album? I'm like, for what album? He's like, Kid Frost, I want to buy it. How much do you owe Virgin? And he's like, I was like, $100,000, you owe them $100,000 for that record. He says, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $150, go record 5 more songs. Just like that. And I mean, it just, we're like, he said, I'm gonna get my lawyers on it tomorrow and we're gonna get you out of that contract. And just moved it like this and it happened just like that. It was like, the guy made it happen and I was like, and he kind of got us out of a little bind because we were kind of stuck on money and we kind of needed that money. It was just, the guy came at the right time basically at that time. And then in between that, he's like, hey, come meet me in my office. I want to talk to you about some radio stuff. I went to his office, jumped in his car, we drove to 92.3 The Beat. I did a little bit of talking. He barely even talked, and somehow we got a radio show out of it. And that's how, you know, that became. And it was crazy because I wasn't trying to get back on the radio. You know, I wasn't even trying to do any of that. And it's like, if it wasn't for Eric, you know, I wouldn't have continued that radio thing. You know what I mean? It was because of that guy that he pushed me into that. Let's go into here, man. You need to do this. And I told him in the beginning, I said, Eric, I don't have records like that, dog. I don't DJ like that. Because I was only DJing on tour with people. I wasn't like mixing at clubs, and so, you know, I had to buy records. I was kind of over it after 1580K. They put a bad taste in my mouth, you know what I mean? Like the whole radio thing. So he went to some stores and he showed up at the studio with these bags, like the ones that the DJs carry, like those bags, but they were like full with records. And his whole trunk was like, hey man, is this enough records right here? And I was like, oh my God, what did you do, dog? I went and bought 2 copies of whatever was out. So those records, I still have those records to this day. It's like, that's how the kind of guy he was, you know? He's like, if he needed to buy something, he'd get it for you. Like, that's not the issue. If the records are the issue, let's get you the record so we can move on. And that's why I love Eric. And I always compare people to Eazy-E. It's like after working with a guy like that, even though I know a lot of celebrities and a lot of people, it's like there's only certain people that are, when they say they're a boss, there's only a real small amount of people, even though they may say they are, that really know what that means and know how to carry themselves and do it that way like a boss. And that's why I understood about Eric. And I'm very fortunate for that reason because it helped me with how I look at people because of dealing with him. Because I realized when you really want to boss, you got to take care of your people. And he was really good with that. He knew how to take care of his people. If people only knew how many checks I seen him write to people, take care of their bail or their warrants or pay for their phone bill or pay for this. I mean that guy was giving, man. And like I don't think people even come out to express that enough. You know, that how much I seen it personally. And I'm sure his closer friends that were around him more, they could say, we're gonna say the same stories in this documentary. They're gonna sound the same because that's how Eric was. He was a giving guy. People had no clue how much of a giver he was, you know what I'm saying, to people. He was a giving guy, man, you know what I mean?
What's up? My name is Dimon Ice Girl, and I used to be signed to Ruthless Records. I was in a group called GBM, Gangster Bitch Mentality. Signed to Eazy-E, CEO of Ruthless Records affiliation with Jerry Heller. And I'm here to let you hear my part of the story and what I used to do with Ruthless and my affiliation. And I guess I'm gonna start it from here. I was the last girl that came in GBM. They had a girl group. It was N.W.A Find, T-Ski, Chan. It was a girl named Storm, but I guess she didn't make it to the group, so the homegirls called me to come through and audition. And I went in an audition, and Chan Silky was already my homegirls anyway. Shoot, and they just put me in a group. And then there it was, we was GBM, and a week after that, he gave us some Ruthless Records contracts, and I called my lawyer, Lee Young, which is Ice Cube's attorney, Mac 10's attorney, a music attorney that's in the game, and we signed our contracts when we was signed to Ruthless Records.
And, I'm Stefan, also known as Roach Killer, the original. I was signed to Ruthless in '93, put out an album in '94 called Trippin' With No Luggage, and a single called Frostbed. But prior to that, I was a television host, you know, dancer, choreographer, and whatnot. So I was in Eazy's video. I think easier said than done back in the day when I had my curl and whatnot. And then I started hosting shows for him. He had these things, these talent competitions called the Eazy-E Ruthless Extravaganza. Try to say that shit 3 times real fast, you heard me? Yeah, so I was doing those. I was hosting them shows, and then me and Rhythm D linked up. And then one day, me and Rhythm D was at the house smoking, and Eazy came through the door, and he was like, "Yo, you know this nigga, man? He got a bomb voice." And Eazy was like, "Man, I already know that nigga, man. Whoop, whoop." And next, you know, it, the same day, I think he gave me my deal. Real stuff.
As you all know, and if you don't know, I'm Baby Eazy-E, the second son of the godfather of gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? Basically here to tell you a little bit about my life with my father, you know. My father was the greatest father I can only say, because as my father, I can't really speak for nobody else, but you know what I'm saying? As a kid growing up, you know, I was around a lot, you know, I was included in a lot of scenarios my pops was in, as far as music videos, you know, going out as a family, you know, with my whole family. You know, my pops, he used to line up little events as far as having us all out Disneyland events. You know what I'm saying? He was always there, and whether or not he was busy, somehow he made a way to at least provide for the family, to keep everybody satisfied. And you know, it was a long but short trip for me and the rest of the family. But you know, I used to be at the studio. You know, he used to drag me along with him at the studio. I used to be with him, Jerry Heller, going out to eat, Cheesecake Factory. You know, a lot of little shit as a child. I seen a lot. You know, experienced a lot just being around my pops in general, seeing how he handled everything on a business note, you know what I'm saying, from the streets, and how many people actually fucked with him in general, you know, because he was a real dude. So, you know, just a lot of shit. You know, it's probably like too much to really sit there and tell. I'd be on the whole motherfucking documentary if that's the case, as much memories as I got, you know, but all I know is, and I know how everybody feel, you know, but from a family standpoint, you know, I miss him. I love him, you feel me? I wish he was still here. It's a lot of people who really don't know what happened, including myself. I don't know the situation, but all I know is I'm just gonna contribute to keeping the legacy going, including my brothers, my sister, you know, whoever else wanna feel they wanna add to the pot. Really dope.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Kanima Ivor. I used to host this show back in LA in the 90s, and it was called New Generations. And that's where I hooked up with my boy, Eazy-E. I remember that the show that we had, the hip hop entertainment show that I was hosting, that my mom was producing back in the 90s, we had already interviewed a lot of people and worked with a lot of record companies, and she had submitted proposals to them for different ideas that she had, and we heard a lot of no's. We heard a lot of no's and went knocking on a lot of doors that did not open up for us. And we went to Ruthless Records, and when we went knocking at Ruthless, knocking on the door, guess what? He said, "Come on in," because he was a visionary. So when we submitted things to him that we believed in, he looked at it and he believed in it too. Since then, it was on and cracking with New Generations and E.
Welcome back to New Generations. We're still here at the Mulligan Family Funds, and
it's going down.
And it's going down.
I'm Los to your SC smoke blower. None fucking with legends, easy with a weapon. Yeah, I'm your nigga Loster, man. Shit. I've been doing this shit since 95, man, 96, since I was going to Crenshaw High School. I met E through my cousin, actually, my homeboy's cousin, Cash East, my right hand. His cousin, Loco SAB. I met E through Loco SAB. He used to stay on right behind the Barbary Coast and shit. And that's the first time I met E. You know, he had came with Rhythm and shit, and Sad was like, "Man, that's Eazy-E and Rhythm D," and I was just like, "Fuck, like what it do, E?" You know, shit. You know, like to be in the presence of a legend like that was amazing. You know, so of course a young nigga was like straight struck. You know, it was wild, man. And from that day on, you know, it's been Ruthless all the way, man. I was in the back. Supposed to be next up and shit. You know, me and Cash East was doing our thing. And we've been here since then, man, you know, pushing this Ruthless legacy.
From day to day, I lived with Eazy more than I did my own family. And I watched Eazy grow from not even a thug. He was just a little cool brother with an entourage of homies everywhere. And watched them start making records and performing and doing gigs everywhere. And every time we went anywhere, we had this following of people. People just loved Eazy. He was really good with kids. He loved kids. It wasn't disrespectful like the rappers of today. Even though we had a bitch as a bitch, but off the record, when we weren't on stage, he loved women more than anything. He was more respectful to women. But he did things to sell himself on tour and on shows. Off the record, he would be a gentleman. He loved women and respected women.
On the outer surface, you could never tell if Eric had any problems or not, but Eric was so deep within the business that it was more to it than just a breakup. There was a lot of internal things happening to Eric, as an individual, the CEO of a company. Monies, groups, contracts, he had bone, but by him losing a friend and the business associates, not only did he lose a friend, but business associates, he lost, part of the company. You're looking at Dres as, the producer. Maybe his finances wasn't as big, but in a business sense, he was the producer of a lot of that music. And you had Suge, working for Eric as a bodyguard for the DOC. So, and then you had the DOC, who was one of the major writers over there and platinum artist. You can imagine when you lose two of your main people in your company, and it wasn't like he lost them to someone he didn't know. It was that Dre them kind of like business up and learned more about the business and had, they had tell some things.
I got the call late, or I think it was the next day, because I didn't get it that night. But we had a rule with him. He wasn't supposed to be out like that anyway. But that was he. He was going to go where he wanted to go. And he told me they was tripping and they threatened him. And I couldn't believe that, but it wasn't Dre, So I couldn't believe, like, nah, not Dre. Like, nah, Suge and his people and all of that. And I couldn't really believe that from Suge either, because he was one of us. He was a DOC bodyguard. He was there. He was there with us. And I just can't, it was money. Suge got a taste of making some good money. And, I can't knock Suge because, I probably would have done something like that myself. He did what he had to do to come up. But it just, it was wild. It was a whole different period. Like I told E, I said, dude, this is real stuff. A lot of stuff back then, a lot of, these rappers would create stuff to happen, interesting things, almost like a reality show. But this was real. Like, dude, this is some street. Somebody can die behind this. It was getting to that point. Somebody's gonna get hurt behind this. And he just said, well, y'all chill out, man, and do this, because we met. Him and Dre talked at the Palladium. We were all there. I think it was a Michelle A concert. We all went. Me, the twins. We were there, and Suge was trying to get close. And that was a perfect night to handle that. he didn't, you know, he just didn't want to do it that way. Because, you know, we told him and Dre was talking in a corner in the Palladium. And Suge was standing off, and we had one dude with him. And we were saying, dude, it's time. Let's get dude right now. And he kept saying, no, he didn't want to do it like that. He didn't want to do it like that. But you know what's so funny? We never saw Suge not with 20, 30 people again, ever. You know, I said, well, that's over. You don't get him like that no more.
Yeah.
But he had his own plan, how to work everything out. And from what happened, I mean, after the Chronic came out and he got that override, so it worked out financially for E, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth all the other crap that could have went down.
Yeah.
First, we thought that we didn't feel that Dre was going to leave. And we negotiated with him in good faith for a long time. And his people kept telling us that he was going to continue to produce N.W.A and Eazy. And we went back and forth, you know, contractually over that for a long time. But after that, you know, it was a war zone after that. So, you know, we fortified the offices, and we had security, and things changed. The fun went out of rap music, and I attribute that to Mr. Charm, Suge Knight.
Man, when I found out that shit happened, I was like, damn, you know, I didn't believe it, you know, and then he was like, yeah. And that's when he was just like serious. It's like he was really in like his whole mood, everything changed. He was, yeah, song.
Snoop and Dre came with the song Dre Day. They came with the song Dre Day. So I guess Eazy had a little comeback that he wanted to do. And his album was actually already done, that EP. It's on Dr. Dre 187 Killer. That album was already actually recorded and actually finished. But we started recording a new song called Real Compton City G's, or Real Motherfucking G's. And when we recorded that song, he put that song that it's on that album, that was supposed to be the single. So he quickly erased that and made Real Compton City G's the single, because everybody was telling him that was the song to come back on Dre with. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Yeah, that was it. Do you remember any specifics as far as what he told you?
He talked, I can't remember every little word, but it was like on the point to fuck everybody. I'm rolling with my shit. First motherfucker tries something, I'm gonna kill his ass.
Can you imagine breaking up the Beatles because, I mean, this was the Black Beatles, breaking them up just because you wanted part of the action? You know, I would have done anything for an N.W.A reunion record. I would have walked away from it. But, you know, between Brian Turner and Pat Charbonnet with Cube and Suge with Dre, I mean, the greatest group of the second half of the 20th century, you know, broke up, which I think is inexcusable.
Yeah, there was a time where I guess Suge Knight was upset because when I would play on the Ruthless radio show, Eazy would tell me to play death row music. Well, first of all, he didn't tell me to play it. He asked me. I asked him one day, like, hey man, I'm gonna play this record because I don't like people to tell me what to play. First of all, so it wasn't even a thing of he was gonna be able to tell me yes or no. I was still gonna play it because I like the music, you know what I mean? So, but what I wasn't gonna play was Dre Day. And so he said, yeah man, I don't care about none of that shit. I get paid for that shit, homie. Play that shit. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I would play death row stuff in between, you know? So I guess Suge Knight during the week, he came up to the beat and he was upset. Like they were scared of him too. So he came in and told them, man, tell Eazy don't be playing none of my music. And they got all scared, man. They called us up and they were like, we gotta have a meeting and security needs to be beefed up. It was a real trippy thing for them. And they were like, I remember Eazy, they told Eazy, Eric, Suge Knight came and he said that he don't want you playing none of his music anymore and we don't want no problems with him. He's like, man, Suge Knight. I don't give a fuck. Julio, this Saturday, play all that nigga shit. That's exactly what he said. And everybody in the beat was like, nah, like everybody was so scared, bro. And he's like, oh man, fuck him. Julio, play that shit off, man, the whole shit this weekend. And so I went home and I had to change the whole idea of the show, what I was gonna do, because he wanted me to play all Death Row. So Eric was a trip. So I remember that night, it was myself, Tony, Eric, I think it was Yella, Big Man, and maybe one of the twins. I'm not sure if it was even both of them. It was like one of them, right? So when we're walking out of the beat, this is after the show was over, right? This is that Saturday, right? As we walk out, there was a gate over here, right? So as soon as you walk out, our cars are all parked over here. As soon as I walk out, like I look this way because I'm thinking, oh man, there's gonna be some fools at the gate. Like I'm thinking Death Row showing up. These niggas they're coming. I just in my head, I'm thinking they're coming, man. I look at it. Eazy taps me from the back. Man, why you scared, man? Why you scared? I'm like, nah, man. He's laughing because it was so funny. Because he was like, really? I don't know, man. Eric just wasn't scared of the guy. He didn't give a fuck. And it was like funny because I remember being all panicked, like, oh man, I brought a baseball bat, and I was like, man, just in case these fools show up, I don't know what's gonna happen. And I mean, I'm rolling with Eric. I wasn't in their beef. I knew Suge Knight. You know what I'm saying? No, I didn't have no beef with the guy. You know what I mean? So, but that was a funny story. I never forget that one from Eric because he caught me all scared and shit. Like, why you scared, Julio? They ain't gonna come up here and do nothing, man. And it was just funny because we all started laughing. And it was so funny, dude. I'll never forget that one, man. Eric was funny, man. I used to have a good time with that guy. He was so funny at that dude, man.
No, we would catch stuff on the street. I mean, just little sporadical stuff. You might run into a couple of dog pound people somewhere, and there'd be some words exchanged, some FUs, and you know, stuff like that. Caught Snoop at a Mickey Howard concert one night, and you know, we was wanting to mad dog him and bother him. It was so funny. I'm looking, I'm telling Twin, and they're like, man, this fool Snoop up here. You know what I'm saying? And he was sitting at the table with him, talking. You know, like, I guess, man, he had his, you know what I mean? He had his own way of doing stuff. You know? Violence wasn't Eazy's way. Eazy's way was everybody make money. We could do this and make money. Violence, we ain't gonna make no money. Like, okay.
Like the first time we actually, after the songs came out or whatever, and all the little controversy was going on, you had the Box channel where the video was being played every day. And I was still living in Watts, like the area I'm in right now. And we actually got nominated for a Grammy for that song. So we was at the Universal Amphitheater in Universal City Walk or whatever. And this is the first time that Ruthless and Death Row actually met up. And you know, after the song was out, and so it was a lot of tension in the air. And we walked into the thing, and Suge and all them was in there. Dre, all the Dog Pound, Nate Dogg, Daz, Corrupt, Snoop, and he even had the DOC with him. And then he had all his homeboys, all his blood homeboys. It was in there like 300 deep. It was only me, Eazy, my brother Drester, 2 bodyguards, and one of the homeboys. Actually, Jim Bob, the dude who brought us to Eazy. And you know, we was in there, we got into it, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had words, and Michael Conception, from We All in the Same Gang, who put that project together, he seen us over there, like, getting into it, so he kind of stepped in and was telling Suge, like, you know, it ain't gonna go down like that. And Suge was basically telling, because Suge actually came up to Eazy and put his arm around him, and then they walked off, and Suge was, like, basically trying to threaten him a little bit. So me and my brother walked over there, and Michael Conception seen us talking. Snoop mobbed up, and so Michael Conception was like, man, this ain't the time and place for that. So actually, when we went outside, we thought they was gonna try something. So we sent one of our homeboys back over here to Watts, and he brought like 7 guns. You know what I'm saying? Brought the guns back. We all got a pistol. We stepped outside, and we pushed up on Suge and them like, what y'all want to do? We thought y'all wanted to do something. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of bowed it down. So we went our own way. They went their own way.
time when we came over, the beef with Dre had really begun. And I remember Eazy sitting with a copy of the Chronic album, clowning Dre for that. It looked as if he was on a grandma frame. He had a grandma frame that was framing his picture on the cover. I remember him making fun of that and saying, "He looked like an old grandma. He looked like an old woman." And Eazy was, of course, he was happy and unhappy at the same time. I could feel that, because Dre was his homeboy, but he had to trade him. So therefore, he used this, as Eazy always would, as a business opportunity, and to catapult himself. And I mean, every time Eazy did anything at the time, he would sell at least $1 million. So I mean, a lot of people would hear about this.
I just made this. I've been Eazy fan ever since N.W.A days. I grew up on him and N.W.A. I was a real big fan of him and N.W.A. When they broke up, I still stuck with him. I didn't give up on him. On all the albums all over. He was my favorite out the group. R.I.P. Eazy, I miss you.
Hello.
We're from Latvia.
And we love Eazy.
What's up everybody, my name is Sticky G from Eazy-E, forum I ja predstavljam vam danas Hrvatsku I pozdravljam sve moje Balkance, šta ima brate? And all I wanna say is much love to Eazy-E, the godfather of gangster rap and his family and children, and much respect to this documentary and its creator who made a big job to honor the legacy of a real legend. Yeah homeboys, that was for me, and remember, we Balkans know who's the G. Yeah.
I'm Eazy Cox. I'm the only one brother who keeping it ruthless in Macedonia. Eazy motherfucking E. How can I describe this gangster? I mean, Eazy was a real genius. Motherfucking godfather of gangster rap. Such a great spirit. Miss you, Eric, Eazy, right? Real G stay ruthless. The Black Mafia for life.
He was a legend. Hip-hop thugster to death. Never saw. No way, no how. Now I want to let it be known that we're giving up the real right here in Portland, Oregon.
He is someone who is a very under-recognized icon in the industry. He should be looked at as a hero. He is someone who came up during a time where it was very difficult for minorities to come up and prosper. He got out of dealing, found legitimate success, and he shared that outlet with others, regardless of their background, gender, genre, or age. He is a hero.
Hello, I'm from Latvia, and we love Eazy.
What up, y'all? This is Mike 253 from the Eazy-E forum, straight out of Tacoma, Washington. God bless the memory of Eazy-E. Rest in peace. 11/5/23. Peace to Eazy-E's family, and peace to all the Eazy-E fans out there, especially on the Eazy-E forum from EasyECPT.com. You know what I'm saying? Eazy-E is my favorite rapper, and he has been for 17 years, since I was 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm still bumping Eazy-E every day. Ruthless for life. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to EasyECPT.com. God bless the memory of Eazy-E. Rest in peace. 11/5/23. Much respect to the makers of this documentary too. Eazy-E, Ruthless for life, the hip hop thugster. And for all the Eazy-E fans out there, cheers. Sipping on a 40. Peace.
Welcome to the Ruthless Memories. This is for the late, great Eazy motherfucking E. Let's do this motherfucking thing. EasyECPT.com. Easy motherfucking. That's little motherfucking N. This is the motherfucking Reaper Man. It's the West Coast forever. Let's pay homage to this motherfucking name, Eazy-E, the godfather of gangsta rap.